Jimmy!
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Welcome to the Muscle, Mind, and Money Podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Dominic.
And this is Nastasia. Now on to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are better than ever with the Muscle, Mind, and Money Podcast. I think we're on to episode number 2020.
Yeah, buddy. We made it to 20.
And we got an email. I don't even know from who. They said we are part of the top 200 downloaded podcasts in the category. The fact is, though, that we signed up for like 5 categories, so it could be from like cooking to business to entertainment. Who knows?
We are top 200.
Somewhere.
Yes.
And I haven't found it. But we were discussing, it means more to where you got to start. So when I told Nastasia, hey, we're on a list, her first question was, what number are we? And I said, we haven't even been on a list. Let's get on the list and we'll worry about the number.
Okay.
Slow down.
All right.
We're doing all right. But we're right in the first few days of May. Spring officially starts in May. Is that correct?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it today. It's like rainy and windy and like
it's shitty. It's
total
really shitty.
Crap day, but that's why we're recording podcast inside.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting caught up. But May is something that's important for, especially in British Columbia, cancer. Like the whole workout 30 days in May, workout every day. What is that exactly?
It's called Workout to Conquer Cancer. It's with the BC Cancer Foundation. I am heading up a team, and we haven't really talked about this yet on this podcast. So if you don't personally know us, surprise, I'm a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer on August 28th. It's a day that I won't forget. And it was literally out of the blue and probably the biggest shocker of my entire life. And so for me in May, I am helping support the BC Cancer Foundation by doing 2 things. Number 1, raising awareness that if you are active and have an active, fit lifestyle, you can reduce your risk of getting cancer by up to 25%. On certain cancers, which
just by working out, just by staying active.
By staying active, man.
Wow.
And also number 2, to help raise funds, because my story is one with a very sweet beginning and a very sweet ending. And while it sucks that I had to go through that, the way I went through it couldn't have been any better because of the BC Cancer Agency. Dominic and I had zero stress financially. I was treated by the most incredible doctors and surgeons and nurses at the amazing hospitals that are here in BC. While they might not be super fancy because they're not privately owned, they literally were, I was given the best care. And in a shitty situation, getting the right support and the right care and the right treatment and just by the best people made it, I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this right now, but made it kind of like easy to get through. So it's a really important initiative for me to support. And it's one I think that can help everybody. Mm-hmm. And we have like a larger message about it today, more than just this like kind of workout every day. We have a larger message to help you.
Yeah, because as Nastasia just did a great intro and monologue in regards to her personal story in like 60 seconds, but she mentioned something in there of like, it was actually not that difficult to get through. But as you reflect, and why this is important, this is where I've seen Nastasia's recovery from after her chemo to where her energy's gotten back, her physical abilities are getting back. She's crushing the weights now. And when she had mentioned to me, look, I joined a team and with Aaron and also with Kelsey, and we're going to do this 30-day challenge. Are you in to challenge? I was, of course, look, let's work out every day. Let's stay active. We'll do walks, whatever. But I just feel like this is important to me right now to start to give back and be that pioneer of what was reflected or what was around me, and making the process, what you say is, well, not too bad in reflection. It's because you surrounded yourself with people with the right mindset, with the positivity. Let's work out. Let's get through this. The rainbow is right on the next over the hill. It's just, it matters. And so your environment of your recovery, your environment of your circumstances completely played a big role. And BC Cancer Foundation played a little part, but it was more around like you wanted to be around people that have been through this, that have a can-do attitude, and you will be better in no time. And now it's your time to be that person back for others, correct?
So it's really like crazy to think back. If I take the last year, almost a year, it's a year and a month, like almost to the day, my mom passed away. It was the biggest, hardest thing that I had been through at the time. And it was like not a pretty situation, and it just sucked. And then 2 months later, I was laying in a tanning bed and my boob was itching, and I went to itch my boob and I felt a bump. And I'm like super OCD, hypochondriac, fucking crazy with my health. I run home to Dominic and I'm like, feel my boob. And he's like, dude, it's nothing. And of course, you would think it was nothing. I'm 36 years old. I work out. I work in the fitness industry. It's nothing to worry about. And it ended up being something. And in the time that I had lost my mom, found my lump, and really the past year, I was like not in a good space mentally, mainly because I was super redlined. And part of me being redlined was I was looking at having to climb mountains. Like, it wasn't small victories every day. It was these big things that had to get accomplished, and these big crazy ass goals. And everything was always like balls to the walls, huge, high intensity, running at 100 miles an hour. And it just never felt like I could accomplish things without being super stressed out, because the way I was looking at it was all of these huge things all the time. So part of the perspective that changed when I got sick was you can't look at something like that like a mountain, right? Because that's really fucking overwhelming and your life is kind of on the line. So it was like you and I together started working things like small little feats that we could like accomplish. So today, what are we going to do? Like, we're going to find a new place to live. Okay. Today we're going to go to this doctor. Today we're going to make the decision around, are we freezing eggs or not? Today we're going to decide 2 boobs, 1 boob, no boobs. Today we're going to decide, because all these little things that had to be decided on, and then had to be lived, and then had to be like, you go through. If you were to map all that out on day one and look at all that shit, it's like, I'm already dead. But if you just say, okay, one thing at a time today, I'm going to wake up and make a decision on this, and I'm going to wake up and go do the surgery, and then I'm going to heal from, like, small little feats, I think is what got me through. But to your point around the positive mindset, I cut everybody out of my life, and I cut out all the things that stressed me out. I changed my environment. I changed the things I was looking at every day. I changed the books I was reading. I changed the people I was talking to. And I completely basically pivoted my entire life to get me into a space that allowed me to say, fuck yeah, I can do it. It's going to like suck for a little, but I can do it. But that was a very conscious like flip.
Yeah. It would be in a relatable picture. Nastasia wants to lose weight. She's frustrated with being overweight. So she's like, look, I'm going to just get on a diet. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the right way. She goes home. She cleans out the kitchen of all the junk food. So that would be getting away of all the junk of people that are around you that stress you out, or relationships. And then she's like, look, I need to mentally get better to physically get better. And so then she started to change the geography of, she got a gym membership, if you think about it, and went to the gym, started to work out, take classes. Like, she changed everything she could to know this is the fastest way to recovery. But it's also somewhere in there is also what probably caused you to get sick.
Yes. Oh my God.
And it's your environment, and you have to change that. So when you don't know what the biggest problems are, you have to know where your temptations are or where your bad habits are, and recreate that environment for you. And she just went all out, went all in, which is an all or in kind of like, Kat Bearfield brought that up with us. We're usually either all or nothing kind of mindset. She went all in on this, changed everything from even social media to how she spoke and talked to people through optimism or through being pessimistic, changed books and went from reading around how to be a billionaire into how to meditate. Like that's the kind of changes you've made. And then what happened was your environment started to change of people coming to you that sought out to help you, that wanted to be part of what you were doing, is because you were putting out a different energy in the world too.
And attracting different people.
And
attracting
that's where
different energies.
really the recovery path started to happen.
Yeah.
And so you even started to clean up your social media, and that was a big where people started to attract to you. And this is how you even met Kelsey, and you reached out to Aaron. Like, tell the story there.
These great friends. So it's like, it's funny because I think in life, it's so easy to get in a rut and in this loop and not even know how you're acting or what you're going through, what the external forces around you are actually doing to you. So basically this diagnosis was this like big stop sign that forced me to look at who I was surrounding myself with, look at how I was acting, look at the things that were coming across my viewpoint and the thoughts in my head every day. And I realized really quickly, once I became conscious around paying attention to that, it was for me a no-brainer, like 100% why I was sick. And so by cutting those toxic people and things and stuff out and starting to pivot to things that made me feel better. But this was a major life working that I chose to do very quickly because of getting sick. Then I started attracting wonderful people to me, one of which was Aaron. And Aaron and I had worked together in the past, very casually, kind of like acquaintance work together, and then worked together again in the more recent acquaintance. And she had just been through what I had been through. And I like literally random called and texted her, and she spent an hour on the phone with me. And I was like, this is a fucking good human. And this is somebody that made me feel like I can do it. Right. And then she connected me with Kelsey. And then I was like, okay, I'm so glad I met her. I feel like I have been friends with her for 10 years and I feel like we're gonna be friends forever. And it's like this horrible disease brought us together, but it was the right juju and the right mojo of people that just made me feel like I can do it. And in hindsight, it's like, why didn't I have those kind of people around me like before? I mean, you are that to me, but 90% of what I spent my day with otherwise like wasn't that. And it was like, I don't know, it just became so apparent. So in my whole, like, this was easy to handle, it is because of the changes that were made. Because had I kept myself in the same environment, situation, frame of mind, thinking, behavior, acting, I think it would have been really horrible.
Yeah. But I think during this process, because it was health related, and again, with the word cancer, there's always the stigma of scare that goes with it. And it's one of those to where either you're going towards pleasure, you're trying to avoid pain. The motivation of avoiding pain made you reflect to, if you're not bringing me pleasure in the sense of the mental or physical in the right way with your mojo and your energy, I'm not dealing with it anymore. And that's a stance that's very hard for many people to take until
something bad happens.
Something bad happens. You lose your job. You get bad news. Something happens, and it forces you. And unfortunately, it's human nature to get to that spot before you make the change, when really you should make the change when you're in your best spot, because it's a whole lot easier when things are going right versus when they're going wrong. Yeah. But that's easier said than done. Nastasia takes a point and then starts to only surround herself with people that have the same value system that she did, had the same energy and optimistic she did. And when you go into and I'm speaking third party with it because I wasn't in deep with it when it came to the social community of cancer recovery and people that are going through it, but you started to friend request and follow people that had it or been through this period, and you started to cut them off quickly too if they didn't voice the optimistic, you can do it, give back, it's not the end of the world, because there's such a pain versus pleasure mentality. And as humans, we love to gravitate towards the negative, because it's just instinctual for protection, but you were gravitating only to the positive and trying to fight those negative voices and negative messaging that you were hearing. And so part of the principles of the recovery period for yourself, you had shared with me, I'm only going to do these things. I'm only going to work out the right way. I'm going to cut out these bad foods I was eating. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to build my community around the values of people that are here that I can serve and can serve me. And I'm not going to deal with the bullshit anymore.
Yeah. And something beautiful that happened is I've had friends that I maybe haven't talked to since college or could be 10 years that just came out of the woodwork and offered so much love and support. And so like the whole journey, we got this hand painted from an artist in Montreal painting that is now lives above our fireplace with a spotlight on it that says love. And that was like the theme of the entire journey of going through this and working through it. Was like everything was just done out of love. It's like, think about this. You have two surgeons working on me, one to remove the shit and one to add in new boobs, all in one surgery. And it's like these people literally took the cancer out of me and saved my life, and they didn't even know me. They didn't even know me. So like a total random stranger helping a total random stranger like become healthy and heal from this horrible fucked up disease. Like that's what they do for like the love you feel and the love you want to give back, to knowing that somebody I met for 1 hour and another hour before seeing them in a operating room was literally going to take out the stuff that was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Like everything out of love. And so
that's what their energy was the love, because they cared about the details. They cared
so
about
much.
They cared about the little things to make the process easy to digest, and nothing but optimism from it. Even if they told you what you didn't want to hear, you could filter and feel the energy of their love and support that drove what you felt was, it made your mental mind shift be, oh, I got the best people helping me. I got the best people around me. That means this is going to be the best process that's ever been, and I'm going to kick its ass and be done with it within a matter of days, when you could have went into it with, I'm fear of everything, and I'm fearful for the people that are helping me. I'm fearful of the doctors. I'm fearful of what'll happen with it, and this is going to be the longest recovery ever. And it was because I'll just say it, you drove the spirit of it, but then people aligned with that same kind of intensity.
And they can like feel, I went to our second meeting with the chemo doctor that was like telling me what was going to happen. And I'm like, good to go. And she was like, are you okay? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, like, what do you mean? She was like, it just typically people don't sit here and handle this way. Like, are you okay? And I was like, I am so good. Like, you're going to help me get through this, and it is what it is, but we're going to, like, I feel comfortable with you. I know your heart's in the right place. Like, I'm good. And she was like, okay, this is just not usually how these meetings go.
You were acting like you were already done with it.
Yeah. So I think in the spirit of May and the Workout to Conquer Cancer, and this whole theme around taking on these challenges
a little bit every day. So here's some like overarching lessons. And I tell the stories so now I can bring you back here, because most of you listening aren't going through what I went through, but most of you listening have shit that you're going through, right? And we all work to better ourselves daily and to give back and to do things with a kind heart. So number one, there's no reason to fear things. And if you do things out of love, you won't be scared. So if you do things from your heart out of love, if you show people love, if you accept love, you're really quickly going to start to see there's not really that much to be scared of. So in the spirit of what we're all going through right now, just remember, if you stay focused on love and doing things with purpose and intention and giving and accepting the love, you're quickly not going to be fearful. Number two, no matter how big shit feels and how much of a mountain it feels like you have to climb, look at things
of small wins every day. So this whole move your body in May for 31 days straight, if I think about 31 days of moving or working out in a row, I get a little bit overwhelmed. But if I just chunk it into, let me listen to my body today and do what feels right and have excitement around what I'm going to go do today, whether it's a garage workout or running the stairs or taking a long walk or doing yoga, then these small little feats that I'm winning every single day end up compiling into a calendar that's filled with 31 days straight of movement. Or in my case, getting through chemo in 3 months and literally being like, how did that go by so fast?
Yeah, it's a new habit you can create.
Small wins and habits every single day. The next is what you see and who you surround yourself with daily counts. The words you're feeding your eyes, the words you're feeding your ears, the things you're watching, the people you surround yourself with, who you're talking to, the content you're consuming via your Instagram, via books, via phone calls, via YouTube, via movies. It all counts. One of our meditation coaches said, never go to bed watching something that you don't want ingrained in your subconscious. Because what you feed your brain before you go to bed is what your brain is processing for the next 8 to 12 hours subconsciously. That also translates into your day life. So if you need to cut people out, if you need to make a move of where you work, if you need to change the content you're consuming, it's all in your control. So what you see and what you consume on a daily basis counts in how you live your life, because it will create and contribute to the way your brain processes things. And next, it's really understanding that there's positive and good in any situation. I sit in front of you today and tell you that cancer for us, I think, is the best thing that ever happened. And it's cliche and you'll hear people say that, but I really fucking mean it. It pushed us to do the things that we've always wanted to do. It's pushed us to not live in fear of scarcity. It's pushed us to believe in ourselves more than anything. It's pushed us to stay completely authentic to our values and the core of who we are and go drive against that. It's pushed us to really reevaluate our relationships and who we want to be around. And it's pushed us on a daily basis to fucking be thankful for all the shit we have and to not look at what we don't have, but look at what we do have and what we are going to go create. And so small steps daily towards that. So no matter what you're working towards, if you're on board with me this month around 31 days of movement, it's moving our bodies, it's moving our minds, and it's working towards bettering ourselves. And just please don't wait until a crisis. I do wonder a little bit if this COVID-19 is a little bit like a cancer diagnosis for some people, right? I've seen a lot of people say I've evaluated what I do in my day, who I talk to. I'm starting to embark on hobbies I've always wanted to do. It's really given me a perspective of how I was treating people or where I was spending my time. So maybe that's it for you. But please don't wait until you get some, Dominic called my diagnosis. He said, God just flicked you in the tit. Poked you in the boob to wake you up. So I hope you can have an awakening on your own without the need of something really crazy happening. But with that, I'm happy to share with you what that did for me and why we're going to move in May together.
It's powerful. I took some notes and I'm going to recap them so you can correct me.
Okay.
Number one, the power of love cures all. Mm-hmm. No question, no doubt, no BS. If you don't believe it, just invest in it. You'll find that it'll cure 90% of your problems.
Yep.
Number two, baby step daily. Mm-hmm. And these small feats add up to big feats. If anyone needs help with this, we actually did a podcast on it. Kat Bearfield went through it with us and did a phenomenal job, even going through like a model of like triggers and motivation and difficulty. But daily baby steps matter. Number three, what you consume is really going to be your conservation. Like, it's what you consume. So when I say the word consume and put it in quotes, the people, the news, the environment, either, and that's your number one choice you can make.
Yeah.
If it's not on your level, your expectations, get rid of it.
Bye.
And you're only doing it for the health and wellness of yourself, but also
Yeah.
for your friends and your family that are around you. And number 4 is all about perspective. Mm-hmm. And yes, your lemons is someone else's lemonade.
Mm-hmm. And I'm only choosing to fucking make lemonade now. Because why? You have one life. Every single day counts. Every year counts. Everything goes by so fast. And you have the power to live a really good life that makes you happy, that you're able to provide happiness for others. And at the end of the day, it's all about us with each other, helping each other, and doing things to better ourselves so we can go be better wives, better husbands, better friends, better sisters, better aunts, and better roles, whatever that role is that you assume. So I highly encourage you to challenge yourself this month.
Start with that. 31 days of working out.
Yeah.
Actively move. And the trigger you need to do this is it's a great cause for cancer. Mm-hmm. And
it's good for you.
You may not be in a situation now where you've had a life-changing scare or event that's made you stop to reflect, which is good for you. You will. That's perfectly said. You will. Mm-hmm. So help others that have already had this. Mm-hmm. You're fortunate never, and maybe we wish upon you all that you never do. But to the point Nastasia just made, you will. And the right people at the right time with the right energy will be around to help you when it's your time. So give to others right now because it's their time, and we'll all make this a better place.
And we're doing this because we can, and we're doing this for other people who need us right now. And we're doing this really to sign up for a challenge for us each individually, a challenge on mental mindset, a challenge on physical, and a challenge to just maybe slow down a little bit to be able to then go speed up. So
that's true. Yeah. Because the 31 days of working out is a challenge on discipline and a challenge on commitment more than anything.
Mm-hmm. And a challenge that you're disciplining yourself to be committed to yourself for 31 days. Like, can you each day this month do something for you for all I'm asking is like 15 minutes. And I bet you what you're going to find is that you'll make excuses to push yourself back when you need to make it a priority to put yourself forward. And as you start doing it, you'll enjoy it. And 15 minutes turns into 20, turns into 30. And now all of a sudden you're taking an hour, and then you're able to go spread love, positivity, and give to others more in a more meaningful and a larger way than you did before. So we're all in this together, man. And I hope today you can draw something from the story. And it's not like, maybe one day we'll do a podcast with like the whole story. But for today, I want you to understand it doesn't take a crisis for you to look inward and really find what's important. And I share with you what that was for me.
Yeah, we should go work out.
Right.
We haven't done our workout today. And so I think we're a little bit of, what is that? Who knows? We need to lead by example. So let's go get it done.
All right, you guys. Thank you for listening in to a very, very important and meaningful podcast today.
Gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.